Mr. Bedley here with Taylor. Say hi, Taylor.
Hi.
And we're going to try to teach you this 4th grade social studies lesson on the change in California's, or in early California's economy. So how did California's early economy change? Hundreds of years ago, there were no grocery stores. Oh, let me just change this to a pen. There we go. No grocery stores. Do you believe that? Like back in the 1600s or 1700s or something like that? Or restaurants in California. You recognize this restaurant? What is that?
Denny's.
Denny's. Yeah, you ever eaten at Denny's before? Yeah. Do you like it? Most people had to catch or gather their own food. Can you imagine everything you eat, you have to go get it somehow? You don't like go to a store or restaurant? Wouldn't that be weird? When the Spanish came, they changed the economy of California. So we're going to learn about that right now, how things changed, how they were before, and then how it changed after the Spanish came over to California. Because before the Spanish came, it was just Native Americans, right? Indians. Yeah. Okay, so this first part we're going to talk about living off the land. Before Europeans arrived in California, people from Spain are from Europe. Europe is across the Atlantic Ocean. It's made up of Spain and France and England and Germany. What now? And well, Rome's in Italy. Italy's a country in Europe. Okay, before they arrived, most California Indians were hunter-gatherers. A hunter-gatherer is a person who gets food by hunting animals and gathering plants or parts of plants. Okay, so what's a hunter-gatherer?
A person that hunts for animals and gathers plants.
Good. The California Indians lived off the animal and plant life that they could find where they lived. They learned about the living things around them, including what was safe to eat and where to find it. So this is before they came. Here's a person gathering. See, they're picking up like acorn seeds right here. And then here's a couple of guys that are hunting using bow and arrow. You can see that they've got their container here for keeping their arrows in. It's actually made out of like a squirrel or something like that. You see that? That's kind of gross, huh? All right, so we're going to move on to the next one here. Finding food. California Indians developed many ways to collect food. They fished and also hunted for sea lions. You know what a sea lion is?
Yeah.
You've seen them at like SeaWorld and stuff, right? Otters, we've seen those there too. Deer, elk. You know what elk are? It's like a what? Kind of like a moose, right? Rabbits and birds. Hopefully you know what they are. They gathered acorns, seeds, roots, and berries. What would they do with the roots?
Plant them.
Oh, you think so? But they're finding food. Evidently they ate roots. Well, think about it. Do you ever eat roots?
Yes.
What?
There's carrots and potatoes.
That's right. Carrots and potatoes are roots, okay? California Indians use different, although that's a crop. And so they wouldn't find probably carrots just growing naturally someplace. That's what's going to change pretty soon. California Indians used different tools to get food. They included, these are the kind of tools they used. Oh, we got a, oh no, right here. We got a little tool, see this? Here's some pictures of some Native American tools. They had pointed sticks. You can see some pointed sticks there. Stones. They like threw rocks at stuff. Spears. Those are probably more spears than pointed sticks here. Canoes. These guys are riding in a canoe. What else? Traps and woven baskets. They also use bows and arrows to hunt. Now they did something else too we're going to learn about next. They even built dams on rivers to gather many fish in one place. A dam is a wall built to hold back water. So here's a picture of like a small dam. You can see there's a hole in it right here. But it would go all the way across like that, and it would make the water build up, and then the fish would kind of get stuck in there, and then they could gather more fish at one time. Does that sound like a good method for getting fish?
Yeah.
Okay, now what happened after the Spanish arrived? The arrival of the Spanish changed the economy of California Indians from hunter-gatherer economy to an agricultural economy. An agricultural, that's hard for me to say, agricultural economy is based on growing more food than is needed for survival. So when you grow too much, you're doing agriculture. The extra food can be sold or traded for other goods or services. Like if we had a peach tree, which we do have some fruit trees in our backyard, they just don't work too well, you know? And if we had like all these fruit, we could go trade it with our neighbors. They might have something else that we want, we trade it with them. Or we could sell it. You could set up a little stand out in front and sell the fruit and vegetables. That's an agricultural economy. Let me switch to the next one here. Okay, some California Indian groups farmed before the Spanish arrived in California. Most groups lived near streams, the ocean, or forests where wild animals and plants were plentiful. So most of them just did the hunter or gather thing, and they didn't have very much in the way of farming. Okay. Oops, what happened? I think I skipped something. No, guess not. Okay, during the 1700s and 1800s, the Franciscan missionaries, do you remember them? That was the Catholic missionaries, taught many California Indians how to cultivate the land. Have you ever heard that word cultivate before? To cultivate means to prepare and use land to grow crops. So if you cultivate it, you like dig it up, you maybe put some fertilizer in it, you put it in little rows so you can plant stuff there and everything. California Indians learned how to grow wheat, corn, and vegetables. Bless you. These California Indians also learned how to build irrigation systems. You ever heard of irrigation? Irrigation is the use of pipes or ditches to bring water to where it is needed. This system helped them grow more crops in more places. Imagine, without pipes or ditches to move water from one place to another, how would you water your crops, right?
I learned about that in school with Egypt.
Right, and the Egyptians did that too, right?
The water, and then they would make it so it went to their crops.
Like you see here. See these like little ditches they would dig these things and make the water move to where they could water their crops. Because, I mean, if you're going to have crops, you have to water them. So water is essential. Okay, now it's time to see if you were paying attention. It's time for our quiz. How did Indians in California get food before Europeans came?
They would either hunt it or just pick up the roots and the plants.
What do you call that? Hunter-gatherer. They were hunters and gatherers, okay? You got that one. That's good. What did Indians build to catch fish?
Ditches.
No, not to catch fish.
Oh, no, wait.
Starts with a D. You give up?
Yeah.
It's called a dam. It's like a little wall here, right? Where it would make the water build up and they could catch the fish all in one place. Okay, how did things change when European settlers arrived in California? What changed? What was the big change in their economy?
Oh, they started to get extra food so they could trade it.
Okay, you know what that's called?
No.
They went from hunter-gatherer to agricultural economy. Can you say agricultural?
Agricultural.
That's a hard word to say, huh? Yep. So here we see hunters and gatherers right here, and that's switched over to farming, to agricultural. What two things did Franciscan missionaries teach many California Indians? Two things having to do with agriculture.
I don't know.
You don't know either one? One of them starts with a C. They taught them how to do something to the dirt. And the other one starts with an I. It has to do with water. You should go back and watch the video again then, right? All right, here's the answers. They taught them how to cultivate. Oops, I'm scribbling on top of it there. And irrigate. Cultivate and irrigate. Say that. Cultivate and irrigate. Get that in your head. What does cultivate mean?
To like do stuff to the land.
Do stuff to the land. Prepare and use the land for farming, right? To plant plants. What does irrigate mean?
It's
Has to do with what? Irrigation. What it has to do with?
water.
Water, right? That is water. And it's where they use two kinds of things to move water from one place to another so they can water their crops. One of them is this.
Pipes.
Pipes. They use pipes and you dig them.
Oh yeah, they ditch.
Ditches, right? They dig ditches, like they make little creeks for the water to flow over by their crops. Otherwise, they'd have to live right by a river or a lake in order to have any water for their crops. So they got to move it from where it is, that's called the source, to where they need it or to where their crops are. All right, I think that's about it. Yep, that's the end. So thanks for watching. Say goodbye, Taylor.
Bye.